morning, class. Good morning. How was your weekend? Good. So today, as you all know, this is search methods. Today is October. So the year is almost ending. Okay. So before we begin with today's lesson, I want us to recap what we had in the last class. So who can tell us what we did in the last class? We were talking about research designs. Can anyone tell us anything? Any research design that you know? Experimental, yes. Sampling, okay. Descriptive design. Exploratory design, good. So we have those ones. We have there are several of them. Experimental, exploratory, all the answers that you have given are okay. And today I want us to tackle the topic sampling. This is the subtopic that today I want us to talk about. And just to, maybe before we continue with the sampling, I have our learning outcomes that I want us to achieve. By the end of the lesson, I expect you to achieve the following. One, it will be definition of terms. So there are certain terms that you must know about the topic that the subtopic that we want to tackle today is sampling. Number two, we have to explain the different types of sampling. So this is what you are supposed to learn today, and by the end of this lesson, I hope you will have to understand all these learning outcomes. So maybe just to start with, who can tell me what is a sample? What is a sample? Anyone? Even in layman's language, what is a sample? Kawaida mnasemanga ati hata mnaonanga mwenye anauza jibu, sio? Then unaambia hebu nipe sample hapo. What do you mean by that sample?
I think a sample is a selected characteristic from a given definition.
You're almost there.
A portion from an answer.
Exactly. You see, you have the idea. It is just that one. Because when you have a population, a whole group, and you just want a portion of it, so that is the sample. But the portion of it, there is something that should be added to it. It must be representative. So it is a portion which is representative of the whole population. So that is a sample. Another term is sampling. What do you understand by the term sampling? You have known the sample. Now sampling is, when you say ING, it is a doing. So in your own perspective, what is sampling?
Sampling is a process of selecting a portion from another group.
Exactly. This one is a process. So it is a process of how you select a portion of which is representative of the population. So I want us to go to the types. So under the types, we normally have two broad types of sampling. Number one is, we call it probability sampling. sampling. So in other books you will find that they refer to probability as random sampling. If you study many books or any other journal, you can find this referred to as random. If you see random, just know we are talking about probability sampling. And when it is non-probability, we talk about non-random sampling. So the two words can be used interchangeably. If you say random, it still means that we are talking about probability sampling. So now let us start with probability sampling. From the word random, it brings idea. Does it ring any bell when we say random?
Yes.
What is random?
It means there is no criteria followed to do it.
Exactly. That is very good answer. There is no criteria. Even when you see the probability, it means there's something that is, the chance is almost like 50-50 chance. So it means that when you're doing, because it is sampling, it is the process of selecting the sample. So by probability, we mean the way you are going to pick the sample from the population, you are going to use an equal chance. There is an equal chance of any of the members of the population, be it items, objects, or people, can be selected in the sample that you're going to use. And when we talk of non-probability, now this one is the reverse of the random sampling. So by non-probability, we mean that there is no equal chance of one of the elements or items in the population being given equal chance of being in the sample as opposed to the first one. So we have several subtypes of these two broad sampling types. So let's start with probability. Under probability, we have the first one, we call it simple random sampling. Simple random sampling. Then we have another subtype, it's called systematic random sampling. Then we have another one, we call it stratified sampling. Then the last, we have cluster sampling. So these are the four types under probability sampling. So you should know that in all these, what we have in mind when we are talking about the four, there is an equal opportunity of the members of objects being in the sample. So we have the four subtypes. So I want us to start with the simple random sampling. In simple random sampling, here, the object or population, any of them has an equal chance and it is picked randomly. A good example is when we have, let's say we are having a ball like this, and we have two types of colors of balls inside this basket. Some are red, some are yellow. So assuming the basket is having these two types of balls, the red and the yellow, and it is closed. So if you just dip your hand inside the bag and pick any of them, you don't know which color you pick. It will be either red or yellow. But you are not seeing whatever you are picking. So if you are told to pick 10 balls inside here, you are just dipping your hand inside the bag. So any of them has equal chance of being selected. So you can either end up with the 10 yellow balls or 10 lead balls, or it will be a mixture in any number, any proportion. So that is simple random sampling. Now we go to the second one, which is the systematic. Here in systematic, there is a certain pattern from the word system, a certain pattern that is used to identify the samples. Assuming we are having 20 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. And we wanted, let's say, 5 people in these 20 people. We just want 5. So, what can we do? If we are having 20 and we want 5, it means in every 4 people we must pick 1 person. And how are we going to pick the 4 people? So we maybe start with having a pattern. Give me any random number between 0 to 9. Between 0 to 9, give me any random number. 1. Okay, let's go with 1. It is a random number that we just picked from 0 to 9. Okay? So you are coming to this one because it is 1, it's around it. Okay? And our number that we were using was in every 4 people we pick 1. So we are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We wanted 5. So you see that the system that we have used, but it is random. We didn't know that number 13 was going to be in the samples. So that is systematic. Now when we are talking about stratified, from the word strata, strata is like a group of people having similar characteristics. So you just have to cluster people in their own groups, assuming we have ladies, like here where we are. There are ladies and there are men, right? So you group the ladies in one group and men in one group. Then within those single groups, which we call strata, where it is one it is stratum, you pick using simple random system from those groups so that you will have a sample. So you will find that there are males and there are females. So you don't end up having only males or only females. So that is stratified sampling. When we're talking about cluster, now it is like they're stratified, but we're having those different groups, assuming we have people with disability in one group, we have youths in one group, we have older people in one group, we are putting them together, they are like stratas. But now, you pick a whole group. It is now differently stratified, because in this one, you are picking a sample from this one, and from this one. But now for a cluster, you pick the whole group and you leave others. You use simple random system in picking just one group as a whole. The whole of it will be your sample. So
1 minute.
Sampling. So that is the end of our lesson today. Next time when we meet, we will be talking about the subtypes of non-probability sampling. So maybe just before we end the lesson, I want us to recap whatever we have learned today. Who can tell us what sampling is? What is sampling? From whatever you have learned today, what is sampling?
The ability to select a portion from different population for representation.
Exactly. And what is a sample? What is a sample? In your own language, in your own, how you can define it. So a sample, we have said, is just a portion of the population, but it must be representative. Then sampling is now the process of selecting it. Then what about the types? We have the have the subtypes in non-probability sampling so that when I come, we will discuss together. Okay? So go find out the types of non-probability sampling.